everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, and today I am tackling succulents. I have already potted a hanging basket. Now I'm going to replant the succulent table, and I'll be using succulents that I overwintered in my heated shed that I've been growing for nearly a decade. This year I'm going to repot all of my succulent collection, so stay tuned for lots of videos all about growing my favorite high impact summer plant that requires the least amount of effort. But let's for now get busy replanting the succulent table. Well, you can see those violas were really well rooted. This, just to give you an idea, you can see how deep it is, you know, a few inches. And it's just a mix of roots. The glass is just tumbled glass that I've bought over the years from IKEA that I use as a Topdress. And the main soil base is soil cube, but there's of course a lot of potting soil mixed in just from the roots of containers or roots of succulents I've planted over the years. I don't remove it. I'm just, you know, mixing it up, making sure I don't have any major root masses, and I'll just even it out, and then we'll start layering some of the overwintered succulents in. Come up with a cool design. Well, so far I've just recycled plants that were already in here a year ago. But I think to give it a little extra oomph, I am going to add 2 of these echeverias. And I'm basically just going to take my hori and cut them out of this planter. Now these have stretched a lot over the winter, reaching towards the light, but I think that's okay. I think they'll still look good in this planter, and I'm not totally in love with it. But if I go to a garden center and see cool succulents, I can always replant it. Otherwise, I think that it's not, I think it's still full of cool plants. But the addition of echeveria, I think will definitely take it up a notch. All right, final step, I'm just gonna top dress with a little bit more soil cube. This will definitely help get all these plants established. You can see there is some existing sedum, that's sedum acre, this really tiny leaf. That's from last year. And like I said, most of these plants actually were planted in here last year, and I think they still look good. But if I find new succulents, I wouldn't mind jazzing this up with some new stuff. But for now, just happy to have these out of the shed and outside where they can get some sunlight and get some water and start growing. Okay, so it's watered in nicely, and you see I have some open spaces. I've decided this year I'm going to top dress them with some seashells that I gathered on a trip to Aruba. And instead of adding like the little glass bits or mulch, I think just adding these seashells will be really interesting. I already have some snail shells that I brought home from Sweden. And I always keep these in here because they're my favorite. But I think this little pop of white will give it some good color and some extra texture. These are like really textured shells. It was a really good shelling trip. Well, I'm really pleased with how the succulent table turned out. I love the mix of colors and textures of the plants with the bright white seashells from Aruba. And of course, I can always change it at any point. Well, I hope you'll be inspired to grow some succulents. I highly recommend including them in hanging baskets and window boxes And of course, if you happen to have a plantable table, they're an ideal centerpiece for the summer season. Well, if you found this video to be helpful, give me a like, share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe to the Breathe the Plant Lady YouTube channel for more practical gardening information. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Happy spring planting!